Hi, Preston Sandlin here with the top 10 red flags found in home inspections. I own Home Inspection Carolina in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we perform home inspections in Charlotte, the Charlotte area market, Raleigh, and Greensboro, which is the triad and the triangle in the Charlotte market. But anyway, number one red flag, foundation problems. Cracks wider than 1/4 of an inch, stair-step cracks in the brick, uneven floors, or doors that won't open and close properly can signal structural issues. They're very expensive fixes and often get worse over time. So hairline crack in the brick line that just follows the brick line, that doesn't bother me too bad, but you know, when it's big enough you can put a pencil lead in. Obviously there's quite a bit of foundation movement going on there, and yeah, it's expensive to fix. You're probably going to have to go in there, one of these foundation companies, and lift it, pump some concrete in there or something like that. Number two red flag would be water damage. Oh my goodness, water causes more damage in one form or another, whether it's, I always say it comes from, there's three possible ways it comes. Weather, you know, rain, that sort of thing, a plumbing leak, or a atmospheric. You've got some sort of bad atmospheric condition causing a lot of condensation and not much ventilation, which can cause it. But you know, stains on ceilings, walls, damp basements, musty smells, effervescence. Effervescence is a fancy word for salt. Basically, it shows you when water's like going through a block or something like that. As it's passed through, it leaves the minerals or salts and kind of has a white salty look to it, and that's effervescence. When you see that, that's a red flag. Roof at the end of its useful life. In our area in the Carolinas, probably 98% of the roofs are asphalt composition shingles. Unlike Florida and places like that, where you know, they're more cement or some type of masonry because of hurricanes and that sort of thing. But you know, they have different life expectancies depending on the color of the roof, the juxtaposition to the sun, that sort of thing. Whether they're just regular asphalt composition shingles or architectural shingles, which the latter last a little bit longer. But generally, when it's getting towards the end of its life, it's going to cup. It's going to cup or it's going to cup under, or it's going to curl up on the outside, one way or the other, because it's drying out. And then it gets real brittle, and then you're going to need to replace it. You are allowed by code to have 2 layers of roof. It's always better to take off the old roof and put the new one on. They do allow you to put 1 layer on top of the old one, but you know, after 2, you've got to clean it off. It's better to, you know, clean it off and have a brand new layer each time, because the more roofs, well, 2 things: the weight of the roof is going to be more weight on the sheathing, but also it's going to create a lot more heat, which can cause the roof to somewhat cook. Electrical hazards: knob and tube wiring, aluminum wiring, overloaded panels, double tap breakers, lots of DIY wiring, which run into that a lot with flips. These are fire risk and can be hard to insure. Knob and tube wiring is you know, the old type wiring that you had, you know, 1920s and before, maybe even 30s, where, you know, they just didn't have the amount of electrical appliances, you know, and the load that they have today. So they were okay for what they were used for, but definitely outdated by today's standards, and would be somewhat of a fire hazard. Aluminum wiring was used during the Vietnam War era, which would be the 60s up to the early 70s, because copper was so expensive. They used aluminum wiring on the single strand, and we're talking about the single strand being the problem, not the multi-strand. The thing is, it's like it moves, it heats up and it can move, and it doesn't shrink back to its original size. So, you know, where you have the aluminum wiring connect at the outlet and at the breaker, what can happen is it eventually expands, and then can basically disconnect. And then when you hit the juice to turn a light on or something, you're going to get a spark. Just like when you're, you know, jumping a car and you get close, you get a spark, and you know that hits something that's combustible. That's that's a house fire, and we don't want that. So anyway, yes, that would be number 4, electrical hazard. Plumbing failures, corroded pipes, polybutylene piping, low pressure, slow drain everywhere, signs of past leaks, sewer line issues in particular can be brutally expensive. Brutally expensive. I agree with it though. First, let me say that Home Inspection Carolina, which I own, we do sewer scope inspections, which is beyond the normal home inspection where we run a camera down to see if there's any tree roots or blockage or any damage to the sewer line. But other than that, yes, corroded pipes. You have dissimilar metals connected a lot of times at the water heater, and hot water passes through that, causes corrosion. You need a connector there that doesn't have the two metals touching each other, because one electron, remember from the chart in chemistry class, the periodic table, if one needs electrons and the other one has it, the electrons are going to pass and it's going to cause corrosion. So low water pressures, obviously an issue. You got to figure out what's causing that. Hopefully it's not rust in the pipes, which some of the older galvanized pipes are notorious for starting to rust, which clamps down on the ability of the water to get down, among other things. But yeah, so number 5 would be plumbing failures. Number 6 would also go along with number 2, mold or conditions ripe for mold, which I connect to moisture damage. You show me mold, a problem with mold, I'll show you moisture damage, because mold needs a food source, needs moisture and a pathogen, and usually the moisture is the thing that you've got to control, and you can control the mold. Mold, obviously it is, the mold spores get in the air, and it causes chronic breathing issues for a lot of people. HVAC in poor condition is number 7. HVAC is an acronym for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. Obviously, if it's run its lifespan, cracked heat exchanger, that pertains to a gas furnace, and you're getting combustion air mixed in with the heated air. That's a bad thing there, because you're getting combustion air in your house, which you don't want. HVAC systems are not cheap to replace. They're rather expensive. Termite or pest damage comes in at number 8, especially in the South here. We live in the Carolinas, which is considered the South. Evidence of termites, carpenter ants, rodents, wood rot. Pest damage can be serious and sometimes hidden behind cosmetic repairs. Home Inspection Carolina does home inspections and termite inspections, so we can hook you up. Evidence of major cover-ups comes up at number 10. Fresh paint, lots of kilts, suspicious areas right underneath bathrooms, toilets, places where there might be a leak or had been a leak. Safety issues deserve the most caution. Cosmetic stuff is annoying, but systematic problem are wallet draining. So, to review, let's recap the top 10 red flag issues with home inspections. Foundation problems, water damage, roof at the end of its life. Number 4 is electrical hazards. Number 5, plumbing damage. 6, mold or mold-related issues. Number 7, HVAC problems, heating, air conditioning problems. Number 8, termite pest damage. Number 9, poor drainage or grading, which I honestly, to me, is part of number 2. Leads to moisture damage, potentially bad moisture problems, because if you don't drain away from the house, you get it towards the foundation's going to settle, you're going to get wood rot, mold, all of the above. So number 9 is poor drainage or grading, and number 10 is evidence of cover-ups. That is your top 10 red flags in home inspection. Please go to homeinspectioncarolina.com for a whole lot of freebies. We've got a whole lot of lists, maintenance list, seller's inspection checklist if you're getting ready to sell a house. Lots of freebies. Check them out. We have you can check codes on there, building permits, all that sort of stuff at homeinspectioncarolina.com. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please like, subscribe. I'm not sure where the buttons will be, but like, subscribe, follow, whatever the kids do these days. Thanks a lot for watching.